Whether it's book club or bunco or watching a football game with friends, we all love to get together with people. But if you're like me, you get tired of taking the same old appetizer because you can't come up with anything else. Janine Washley from Cloverfields Farm and Kitchen is going to give us some new twists on some old favorites. So you still get the flavor you love, but
Yes.
it doesn't feel like you're taking the same old thing.
Exactly. It looks
Okay.
a little bit different. I mean, they're classics for a reason because they taste
People
good.
like them. That's
exactly.
right. Can't beat 7-layer dip, right?
No, but there are different ways to present, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. And honestly, sometimes with book club, I get more excited about the food, and I'm thinking about what I can bring to, and I'm very competitive, so I like to one-up, you know, some of my friends or whatever. So I fully admit that. So one of my husband's favorites is spinach dip.
Okay.
And I feel guilty about the big bread bowl. You know, typically it's the big bread bowl stuffed with the warm spinach dip.
Right.
And I usually throw it away because, you know,
What do you do with
people
it
are
after that?
handling
Right.
it and, you know, that sort of thing. So what about taking pizza dough? You can get prepared pizza dough, make little balls about the size of walnuts, let them rise, bake them off, toss them with garlic butter, hollow them out a little bit, and stuff each one and make little mini bread
That's
balls.
really cute. Yeah, and then everybody gets to enjoy the bread and the spinach dip without tearing apart your appetizer. And
yeah, and it looks nice. And that's another thing that I think about when I think 7-layer dip or even the spinach dip. After about halfway through, it starts looking a little bit sad, you know.
Right.
So another favorite, and a lot of times we eat this for dinner, it's the 7-layer dip.
Love it, yeah.
So this is a mini 7-layer dip. It's kind of a personal 7-layer dip instead of the big one. So everybody gets their own, and it's got all 7 layers in there. But instead of taking it vertical, for a long time, especially since we eat it for dinner, we take it horizontal.
Right.
So I thought maybe it would be fun just to demonstrate that it works. You can see the different layers, and it's actually very pretty.
Okay.
So why don't you just take, and here I'll just demonstrate this one. This is the bean part of it, and you just take it and you have fun with it. This is a great job for the kids. You smear it on there.
Okay.
And this one is a little bit messy. And so I just kind of take it like this, and I like to see the layers. I mean, the whole
But you're not going to
point
cover
is-
the entire, normally with a 7-layer dip, you cover it, every layer goes on top entirely.
Well, it'll end up covering it. It'll end
Okay.
up covering it, but I like to, in the spirit of 7-layer dip, show the 7 layers. So
Okay.
we still see the beans.
Right.
We toss this out a little bit. At that point, I add some onions because I like the warmth of the onions. It kind of takes away a little bit of the burn and the bite. You know, and if you're talking at book club, you don't want to be breathing onion breath all over everybody.
Little onion.
Yeah, and then just a little bit of cheese because that kind of melts into it. So how many layers do we have there? We've got 4. And we'll do kind of half there because I like to sprinkle it on. Then I like to add the sour cream. It looks a little bit rough, so I add it so that I can hide it with the vegetables. And I just dollop it on there. So now we've got, you know, 5 layers there. You kind of get, and then I'll toss on some tomatoes, and we can still see that we've got all of our layers there. And then I'll end it with this, and it's so pretty. It's very colorful.
But it's sort of layered out instead of
layered.
all on top of each
We've
other, where
gone-
all you see is whatever you chose to put on top.
Exactly. We've gone horizontal with it.
Okay,
And then
clever.
just give it a dusting of cheese, and it looks familiar. And then you take your chip and you slide through it that way, and it still looks really nice instead of looking a little bit tired.
Now, you also have done a neat twist on cannoli. People
Yes.
love cannoli, but
Oh,
now
yeah.
you've made it easier to eat as an appetizer. I love cannoli, but you take the first bite and then the rest of it shoots out the back.
Exactly.
So this is different.
And making these are very time consuming. You have to have a
Yes.
special mold, that sort of thing. Now at Whole Foods, and I will just say this, they sell me the empty cannoli shells, and they'll sell anybody the empty ones if you want to go that route. But
Okay.
you know, this way is much easier. I took the filling and just put it in a bowl. It's delicious. It's ricotta cheese, cinnamon, vanilla,
Chocolate
and
chips.
mini chocolate chips. And then my recipe for cannoli dough is super simple: an egg white, marsala wine, cinnamon, and flour and sugar. That's it. You roll it out like a pizza. You use a pizza cutter in order to cut your triangles. Put it into just regular vegetable oil, 350,
And there you
and
go.
cook them 3 minutes on each side, and you have these wonderful cinnamon chips.
All right, in addition to the things that Janine's already talked about, she's got some sweet potato skins and
Yes.
some other items that are all going to be in a booklet that you put together.
Yes.
So all you have to do is email Janine, and she will email you all the recipes and her different twists on these classics. She's at Cloverfields Farm and Kitchen. There's her information. But on our website, WDRB.com, you can find her email, and it's super simple to get these very easy recipes. When we come back, she's going to show us that contemporary flair and entertaining is really not all that hard. She's going to make it simple for us.